Thanks to Mary Poppins, many of us are quite familiar with the phrase, "A spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down." Now, these few simple words can be applied to many different areas of our lives, but when it comes to our interactions and relationships with young children, it has a unique and almost hidden ability to support and nurture a very intentional space with young children. Let's take a moment to think about our interactions with older individuals when we were younger. What were some of their qualities or interactions that you had with them that left a positive influence on your life? Picture this. You're with a child and they're interacting with their friends at this art table. A few of them are drawing on their own pieces of paper and enjoying their time, while on the other side, another group is drawing together and they're creating this story as they draw. As you take the time to switch from side to side, valuing each of the children's interactions, you notice that this group of children writing a story and drawing together are getting quite excited, and they begin to throw the materials that they're using. The papers, the pencils, even a sharpener. You turn your attention directly to them, and you mention to them that you saw them drawing, you saw them creating this story, but you wonder why they've turned to throwing things. The children explain to you that this is part of their drawing and their story, and that they had to do it. You go on to remind them what pencils, papers, and sharpeners are really for. That is, not throwing around. And you prompt them to go pick them up. A few of the children go on to pick up what they have thrown, while another child sits there and begins to sulk. Once again, you remind the child to pick up the materials on the floor because they were the ones that threw it. The child continues to sit at the table and sulk. And so, you very calmly tell the child that you recognize that they are upset, that they don't want to clean, but they need to pick up what they have thrown on the floor. The child and you sit there for about 5 to 10 minutes, while the child continues to show that they want to go play with something else. And so, once again, you remind them that they need to pick up what they have thrown on the floor before they can move on. All in all, you spend about 10-15 minutes with this child, and at that point, it's time to get ready for lunch. As the other children get ready to go for lunch, this child has ultimately just spent their time sulking and sitting there because they didn't want to go clean up. In the end, this child picks up the materials that they threw on the floor, and you have a discussion with this child, explaining to them that your hope was not that they don't play, rather that the materials placed out for them are for them to use and for them to engage with. But they need to take care of them, because if they don't, then other people won't be able to use them as well. After discussing this with the child, you then both go inside for lunch. At this point, this is where the spoonful of sugar comes in to help the child, your interactions with them, and ultimately your relationship with them in the future. Take a second to think about how might a spoonful of sugar in this moment help in these ways. After having gone in for lunch, I gave the child a little bit of space, allowing them to get themselves settled in, open up their lunch bag, begin to enjoy the time of eating lunch and communing with their friends. After about 5 to 10 minutes, I then went over to the child and I said to them, "Wow, it looks like you have a wonderful lunch today. I'm so happy that your parents packed this for you." The child then looked at me and smiled very happily as they put a carrot into their mouth. I then said to the child, "I'd really appreciate you sticking through the conversation that we had earlier. I know it wasn't easy and you wanted to play, but it's really important that we got to talk through it and we got to understand each other. That way we can better understand how we can take care of the environment that we're in." I then closed off by saying, "I hope you enjoy your lunch and I'll see you after, because I gotta sit on the other table with that group of children. I then left the child to enjoy their lunch, to enjoy their time with their friends, and we would reconnect again later in the afternoon. In some ways, we may be thinking whether or not that step was necessary. We had the conversation with the child, they understood what was going on, and that was it. Although it may not be necessary, it is helpful if our intention is to build strong and positive relationships with young children. By utilizing the spoonful of sugar mentality with the child, I'm taking the time to value them, especially after having that difficult and challenging interaction with them prior. This way, I'm communicating to them that I'm not just here to make sure they follow rules or that they listen, but rather that we actually dialogue with these ideas and that we're able to build a relationship with one another that is positive and intentional. Children are then able to understand and accept the difficult situations that they might face moving forward, recognizing that there is a reason behind why those things happen. In addition to that, children then begin to foster a critical mind to really take the time to understand why things are happening, as well as thinking deeper when they see things that may not make sense on the surface. This way, children then become active participants in the world around them, where they are able to intentionally contribute to their society. By utilizing this spoonful of sugar, we then continue to support children on their journey to watch, think, be.